3 easy vegan dinners that can all be made quick in the Instant Pot. I'm excited because these dinners are not only quick, but also they're full of whole food ingredients and they're nutrient packed. So we're gonna go ahead and get started first off with a lasagna soup. And I'm actually gonna be using some organic green lentil pasta in this one, so I'm pretty excited about that. First thing that we wanna do with our Instant Pot, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna turn it on to saute. While that's heating up, I'm gonna go ahead and cut my onion in half and I'm gonna dice it. Quick meal prep hack from me to you. Anytime that you've got a recipe that calls for like half an onion or half of something, instead of just popping it in the fridge, go ahead and chop it up. Just put it in a little Pyrex or something so it's just easy, ready to go. You'll find that you use a lot more vegetables if you've got them already prepped and ready to go and just on hand. You can throw them into eggs in the morning, you can throw them into a stir fry, so many things, but if they're already prepped, it's just that much faster. Go ahead and put in about a teaspoon of olive oil, and then we'll toss in our onions, and we're also going to add 4 garlic cloves. I don't know about you, but one of my least favorite tasks to do with meal prep is chopping garlic. I just hate doing it. I don't mind peeling it, that's okay, but I just hate chopping it. So garlic press, it's an essential in this house. So we're gonna let these saute in here about 2 minutes. And while we're working on that, I'm gonna go ahead and chop up my veggies. So I'm gonna be using carrots today and mushrooms, just because that's what I had on hand. We want about a cup, but you could also do zucchini if you've got that. You could do bell peppers, whatever veggies you feel like. Add in these veggies, and then from behind me we're going to grab some lentils. We want about a 1/4 cup. Now the recipe that I pulled these from asks for red lentils, but I just use regular. I feel like they're pretty interchangeable. You can do that, but you can use whichever you prefer. So a 1/4 cup of lentils. We're also going to add in some seasoning. So if you've got Italian seasoning, you can use that. I actually don't have any here in the house, but I do have parsley. I've got dried parsley over here, and then I've got some fresh basil, and I've got oregano. That's basically Italian seasoning, just those few herbs, but I just so happen to have them on hand. And we'll add some parsley to that. So if you're going with dried herbs, you want about 2 teaspoons. Looking so colorful. And now we're going to add our tomato sauce. So I've got some diced tomatoes, and then also I have some tomato sauce. This is just a homemade tomato sauce that I made from actually our tomatoes this summer. So I'm going to dump in about a cup of the tomato sauce, and then about a cup and a half of the diced tomatoes. If you're looking for a really good brand, I really like the Muir Glen. They've got an organic, non-GMO tomatoes, and I also like that they say field to can in 8 hours, so I think that's really good. You're not losing nutrients, and they're always really vibrant. Just like the tomatoes from my garden, everything always looks really good. I will be doing a blog post, which I'll have down below, so you guys can get any of these specific ingredients, like my preferences on herbs, spices, anything that I need to purchase for these recipes. Usually I'm buying my herbs and spices on Vitacost just because they've got the best prices, and they carry like all the Simply Organic spices and stuff that I like. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add in about a teaspoon or 2, I really like garlic, of granulated garlic. You could also add onion powder if you'd like. We're gonna give that a good stir, and then we're gonna break in our lasagna sheets. So these are from Explore Cuisine. I actually got these on Vitacost. I thought it was really cool that they are a lentil pasta. And I love the idea that we can just make these quick in the Instant Pot. Instead of having to layer everything up, you can just toss them in and they'll cook quick. I'm leaving most of the pieces like this, but some of them I'll break in half so they're a little bit smaller. We're gonna add in our water. I've got 2 cups of water here. And then for some extra flavor in there, I wanna add in some bouillon. So this is a vegan veggie bouillon. Like I said, I'll have a link to where you can find this down below. I really love this for adding some quick flavor to meals. It makes it really simple just to toss that in to just water. You don't have to have big things of stock on hand. All right, so now we're just gonna make sure that everything is nice and stirred up here. And then we're gonna go ahead and add on our lid, and then we're gonna pressure cook. So we're gonna put our vent onto sealing, and then we're gonna pressure cook for 6 minutes. Now, if you have the quick cook, like regular lasagna, you can actually do those just for 3 minutes. But since we've got the green lentil pasta, we're gonna do 6 minutes cook time for that. Quick plug, if you guys haven't already seen my 5 Instant Pot hacks video, make sure you go check that out. I will put it up in the cards, but I gave some tips that I've learned along the way, just getting to know my Instant Pot. Some of the things that I didn't know in the very beginning, but that are super helpful, like that, for instance, of preheating it to get everything going quick. It really makes a difference in the evenings when you're trying to get dinner on the table. So we're gonna go ahead and let that run for the cook time, and then we're actually gonna let it sit for 10 minutes, and then we'll do a quick pressure release. And I'm gonna do some cleaning up. I'll see you guys back here in a couple minutes. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and release the steam. I have a bowl and a spoon. We are just about ready. Oh, it looks so good. So I've got about a teaspoon of salt, and I'm gonna go ahead and stir that in. We're gonna crack a little bit of fresh ground pepper. You can also add in a little bit of spinach. I only have just about a cup here. If I had more, I would go ahead and add in more. You can also add in some nutritional yeast, which our family loves. So we're gonna add in about 2 tablespoons of that. You can tell we love it. We've always got a giant quart jar stocked up of nutritional yeast. It adds a really nice like depth and a cheesy flavor too. And of course you're getting more of the good vitamins. Voila, we have got our beautiful lasagna soup. I'm just gonna go ahead and spoon this into our bowl, and dinner is served. Look at this. So I'm actually gonna top mine with a little bit of the nutritional yeast. This maybe do just on half. And you can top it with a little bit of spinach. So good. Also for serving size reference, this makes about 8 cups. So I've got my couple cups in my bowl here, and then also this is a 6-cup Pyrex storage container. So that is about how much you'll get out of 1 serving. You could double this, and that will definitely make a lot of leftovers. So just keep that in mind for your family size. For recipe number 2, we're gonna be making our spaghetti squash alfredo. It's actually a hummus-based alfredo sauce, so it is so much healthier than a typical alfredo with all of the fat and the dairy. And I love spaghetti squash. Actually, this past year, I really discovered it, learned how to use it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. So what we want to do first is to cut the spaghetti squash in half. Make sure you don't get too huge of a squash, because if you do, it won't fit so good in the Instant Pot. We're also going to want to grab our little trivet that comes with the pot, because that's what's going to keep it off the bottom and to help it steam. We're going to add in 1 cup of water. Now to get things going quick, I'm actually going to hit the saute function. I'm going to take it up to the high heat so it can get that water started. And then we're just going to scrape out all of these seeds. There's 2 main reasons why I love spaghetti squash so much. I guess 3. Number 1, it tastes amazing. It's like a squash. It's a little bit sweet, but it's also a vegetable, so good for you. Number 2, it is like a third of the calories of normal spaghetti, so you can eat more. And number 3, it's a whole food. Like, this is it's just an awesome food. And I don't know why I never really got into it. I guess I just didn't know how to prepare it. In the oven, it takes like an hour, so yeah. Instant Pot, thank you for bringing spaghetti squash into my life. So we just hit cancel on that saute, and then we're gonna go pressure cook, and we'll do this for 8 minutes. Make sure our valve is back to sealing, and we're gonna go ahead and get started on the Alfredo sauce. This is so quick. You guys are gonna love it. So for our Alfredo sauce, we're gonna need hummus. Now, you can use whatever hummus you like. I like garlic hummus, and so I just grab whatever's, just usually whatever brand is on sale. We only need about 8 ounces, so this package here, I feel like it's a pretty standard. This is the Sabra hummus. This one's 10 ounces, so we're just gonna leave a little bit left over in the container. We're gonna use 1 can of coconut milk. Now you don't want the light coconut milk for this because you really want it to be, a thick sauce and something that's creamy. So make sure you don't get the light unless you prefer more of like a thin sauce. This one here is the Native Forest. It's an organic coconut milk that I get on Vitacost, and it's a really, really good creamy one. We're also gonna add in 4 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball this. This is what's giving it that cheesy flavor. Now I will say, if you're talking to someone who is not vegan, someone who like typically eats fettuccine alfredo, I wouldn't pitch this sauce as an alfredo sauce because it's not gonna be exactly the same as, regular dairy alfredo. But, give it another name, like a garlic cream sauce or something like that, something they can relate it to where they don't have like the same expectation, because it's not the same, but it is so good. You definitely still want them to try it, but you don't want them to feel like it's going to be exactly the same to compare, if that makes sense. Okay, so we've got our hummus, we've got our coconut milk, and we've got our nutritional yeast. We're gonna add in a little bit of salt, just a little bit in the beginning, and you can do that to taste, and a little bit of just some crushed black pepper. Now you can make this in whatever kind of blender that you'd like. If you have an immersion blender, I think that is the best route to go with this. Ta-da! Now we've got our hummus Alfredo sauce. I'm gonna go ahead and just set this to the side, and then I'm gonna grab a bowl because our spaghetti squash is almost done. We're gonna do a quick release on this, so as soon as it comes up and gets to 0, then we're just gonna release the steam, pop it out. You're gonna need a fork, and we'll go ahead and make our noodles. Do our taste test. I love how this, you can wind it up just like regular noodles. I love it. I love how this is your vegetable, but it's also like the main course. And if you're not a fan of Alfredo or you don't like hummus, you can always do this with a red sauce. I've even done like a spaghetti squash bake. So I make it just like this. You have your sauce, red sauce or the hummus Alfredo. You can top it with, if you wanted like veggie crumbles, you could do some breadcrumbs and maybe a little bit of like dyed cheese over the top, put it in the broiler for a few minutes. It comes out so good. For our final recipe today, we're gonna be making the most amazing black bean and coconut stew. This one is actually from another YouTuber. She's Sweet Potato Soul. I will have her channel linked down below, as well as all of the original recipe links that all of these are inspired from. I'll probably do a blog post and I'll have all of the original recipes as well as my shortened, easier, quick weeknight meal versions. So what we're gonna get started with first of all on this recipe is we're going to hit saute on the Instant Pot because we want to heat up the pot. So I always like to get that going. So we're gonna start peeling our sweet potato. Now a lot of the nutrients of the sweet potatoes are gonna be in the peel, but if you have a family member who will not eat sweet potatoes if they're not peeled, then you know the struggle. I find that if you just peel the majority of it, they don't really complain. And especially if you've got kind of a sweet potato that looks a little bumpy like mine, I do kind of like to peel it. So we are definitely about balance in this household, not about perfection. So I think it's all about keeping everybody happy and healthy and also staying sane. So now that these are peeled, I'm just gonna go ahead and cube them. We don't need to get too crazy with the cubes. They don't have to be too tiny because we're also gonna be cooking these black beans along with, so they will cook down. about a tablespoon of fresh ginger. So best way that I found to kind of get the peel off the ginger is either take the back of a spoon or just take your knife and just gently kind of flick over the peel of it, and it comes right off. So I'm just gonna take a little bit off this nub, and then I'm gonna try and chop this as finely as I can. There we go, I can hear this heating up. So we're gonna go ahead and add in a tablespoon of coconut oil. I buy mine in bulk, as you can see on Vitacost. I use coconut oil for everything, I feel like, so we're gonna add in just about a tablespoon, and then we're gonna put in our spices. So we're doing both a teaspoon of whole coriander and then also a teaspoon of whole cumin seed. I love to hear that sizzle. And we're just going to kind of roast these in here, just about 30 seconds. Basically until you can start to smell those, they become fragrant. And then we're gonna go ahead and put in half of a chopped onion, which I've got from earlier. I told you guys we didn't end up using it. And we're gonna do 3 cloves of garlic. There we go, those are looking good. I'm just gonna add in half of an onion. Now for the garlic. These have been going a few minutes here. I'm also gonna add in our ginger, about 1 tablespoon of finely chopped ginger. We can toss in our black beans. Now these are soaked overnight and then strained, rinsed and strained. Go ahead and dump those in. And we'll do our sweet potatoes. For our liquid, you can either use vegetable stock or you can just use water. So I've got 2 cups of water here. And then I'm gonna add in a teaspoon of my better than bouillon. And then we're gonna hit cancel on that saute, and then we'll do a pressure cook for 25 minutes. Make sure that you've got the valve in the back pointed towards ceiling so that it makes the seal. There we go, I'll see you guys back. So our cook time went off and it's been in here about 8 minutes now, so we're gonna go ahead and do an 8-minute release. So I'm just gonna go ahead, stand back, release the steam. Pressure valve went down, so we're gonna go ahead and take off our lid now. We're gonna turn that off, and we're actually gonna go to saute, and we're probably gonna saute this down about 10-15 minutes. And now, ooh, wow, this looks really good. So now we're gonna go ahead and season our soup. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in some salt. This is totally to taste and preference. And then we're also gonna add in 1 cup of regular coconut milk, just like before in our previous recipe. We're gonna add in 2 tablespoons of fresh squeezed lime juice. And in the next 15 minutes, this is when it's really gonna start coming together. So the soup has been simmering about 15 minutes now, and it's definitely thickened up quite a bit. I'm gonna go ahead and serve this right away over some rice. I think that's the best way to have it. You could eat this just as a soup on its own too, but it's just so beautiful and delicious over rice. Look at this, it smells so good. I love anything with coconut and lime. And we're also gonna top it with some cilantro. So I like to use quite a bit of cilantro, and I just kind of hand tear it. So just a little bit over the top. Of course, that's just optional, and you can also add more salt if you need, all to taste. How delicious does that look, right? So yummy, and I love that the sweet potatoes really break down and it just adds a natural sweetness to the soup. Of course, you've got fiber in there, and as this cools down, it really thickens up too and makes it a really nice, creamy, delicious coconut soup. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and you like these 3 new vegan ideas that you can make for an easy weeknight meal using your Instant Pot to make it fast. If you guys liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this. Also, if you're looking for more ideas for quick recipes you could do in your Instant Pot, then make sure you check out my playlist. I'll have that up in the cards. As well as, if you're interested in a yogurt recipe, I've had a lot of questions on that. I'll have that one up in the cards too, so you can check it out. All right, I will see you all soon. Bye guys.